Rivers State on the brink. Lawmakers push for Governor Fubara's impeachment. The political landscape in Rivers State has been marked by escalating tensions between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the State House of Assembly. The discord stems from a series of disagreements, particularly involving the governor's relationship with his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, who is now the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. The rift has led to a deepening crisis, with lawmakers contemplating impeachment proceedings against Governor Fubara. The situation has attracted widespread attention as it threatens the stability of governance in one of Nigeria's most economically significant states. At the center of this controversy is the governor's alleged failure to comply with a peace accord facilitated by President Bola Tinubu. This accord was intended to resolve the political feud between Fubara and Wike, ensuring that governance in the state was not undermined by internal conflicts. However, according to Martins Amiwule, the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, the governor has not honored the agreement. A major point of concern is that the state has been operating without an appropriation law, a situation that raises serious questions about financial accountability and governance. Lawmakers have argued that without a legally approved budget, the administration's financial transactions could be deemed unconstitutional. The Speaker has emphasized that while impeachment remains a last resort, the Assembly will not hesitate to invoke its constitutional mandate if necessary to uphold the rule of law and protect the interests of the people. The impeachment of a sitting governor in Nigeria is a constitutionally defined process outlined in Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution. It is a rigorous and multi-step procedure designed to prevent abuse of power. The process begins with a written notice of allegations of gross misconduct, which must be signed by at least 1/3 of the members of the State House of Assembly and presented to the Speaker. Within 7 days of receiving the notice, the Speaker is required to serve a copy to the Governor and all members of the Assembly. The Governor has the right to respond to the allegations, and their response must be made available to all members. Within 14 days of the notice, the Assembly must hold a session to decide whether to initiate an investigation. This decision must be supported by at least 2/3 of the House members. If the motion passes, the Speaker will formally request the Chief Judge of the state to appoint a 7-member investigative panel comprising individuals of unquestionable integrity. This panel is responsible for conducting a thorough investigation into the allegations against the governor, and they are required to submit a report within 3 months. During this period, the governor is given the opportunity to defend himself against the accusations. If the panel's report concludes that the allegations are unproven, the matter is dropped and no further action is taken. However, if the panel finds the allegations valid, the Assembly will deliberate on the report, and if at least 2/3 of the members vote in favor of impeachment, the governor is removed from office. The unfolding events in Rivers State highlight the fragile nature of political alliances and the potential consequences of disputes between incumbent leaders and their predecessors. The crisis underscores the influence that former governors can still wield over the affairs of the state, even after leaving office. It also raises critical questions about the extent to which political agreements, such as the one brokered by President Tinubu, can be enforced in practice. Given the significance of Rivers State in Nigeria's economic and political framework, any instability in its governance could have far-reaching consequences. As the impeachment threat looms, political observers are keenly watching to see whether Governor Fubara will take steps to reconcile with the lawmakers, or whether the state will witness an unprecedented showdown that could reshape its political landscape for years to come.